Well, good evening. It's 9 o'clock on Tuesday. We obviously normally go live on a Monday. We've been having some technical fun tonight, but yesterday it was far too sunny and far too bank holiday to be doing a fan zone show, and we thought we'd do it tonight. So thanks everybody who's watching. I'm going to give a few shout outs to everybody who is watching. Hi to Imtiaz, how are you? He says, welcome to the boring part of the season. Well, Imtiaz, we've got some gossip and we've got some transfers to talk about. Graham is watching. Hi, Graham, how are you? Jason Mills is saying blank screen on Facebook, Phil. Well, crikey. I don't think it is, Jason. I can see. I'm checking Facebook stream. I think I can see me on there. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube Live tonight. Let me know if you're having any problems watching us on any of the channels. Lee Marie, Springthought, how are you? Liam is watching. Hi. How are you? Good to have you on here as ever. Terry Fuller. Terry, how's your broadband? I think it was Terry who was struggling the other week. Nathan is watching. Hello. He says, how are you? Oh, Nathan's saying no screen. Well, I think we're watching. Let me know. Oh no, Jason says he can see us now. Alison's watching. How are you, Alison? And hello from Ethan. Even though it says Dan Henson, how are you? I know Tom is hopefully going to be joining us later, but lots and lots of things to talk about tonight. So get in the comments there. Thanks, Andreas is watching. Thanks for that, and so's Jake Dutton. Loads and loads of hellos. I'll keep giving shout-outs to people as we carry on. So keep putting your things on there. I can get your comments on there. I'll keep showing things on there. What can we talk about tonight? Well, I've got a little list of things, which I've made some notes on. Unlike me to actually make a list of notes. Vardy and Diddy, Mahrez, obviously. Andy King played for Wales last night, as did George Thomas. We've got some stuff to talk about that. But it's your show. This is the Fan Zone. This is Leicester fans. If you put in the comments here what you want to talk about, then we'll talk about it. Obviously, there's transfers. One in at the moment. There's rumours of Johnny Evans and a couple of others that we're going to be talking about. Gareth Taylor saying, what do we think about that new away kit? Yes, that was all over the internet earlier. This new rumoured third, I think it's the third kit. Personally, I thought I had to squint and have a look because I was looking at my phone. I thought it was Man U's new away kit, if I'm honest. So that's my interpretation of it. I'm not an instant fan of it, but it could be a grower for me. What did you all think to this rumoured new? I think it'd be a third kit. It's sort of grey with a goldy badge on it. Jury's out for me. I like a red away kit, which I know a lot of you won't like, but I do like a red away kit for Leicester. Anyway, first person who's clicked in is James. So I'm going to bring James in. I say I've put a link out there in the comments. I'll put it all over Twitter. So if people want to come in and join us. Hello, James. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, you.
Yeah, James, let's start with that one. What do you think to that rumoured third kit or second kit?
I don't think the pictures did it justice. I think it's actually black.
Oh, is it?
With a gold around it. So I've seen some better pictures which do actually look black rather than the grey.
Yeah, I mean, the pictures look very grey, didn't they?
Yes.
And my initial reaction was Man U away.
Yeah, it does look like their old kit, if I'm honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas Hands is saying it's horrible. Pauline Copson saying I don't like it. Alison Green says it's a nice shirt, but it doesn't feel like Leicester. Yeah, so James, your thought on it, that it could be black and not grey?
Yeah, some of the pictures I've seen with actually someone wearing it, it does look black rather than grey, which might give it a better feel, but you won't know until it's released.
No, and obviously people are putting here when is the actual shirt out. I believe, James, do you know the actual date? Is it June the 2nd? July the 2nd?
So June the 1st pre-orders start,
Yep.
and it's due to be released on July the 1st, because they're refitting the shop for the whole month of June.
Yeah, James, you were telling me a little bit about the new shop, weren't you? You've had some peeks at it, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, so someone sent me the actual plans of the shop. It looks quite nice. It looks very much Adidas-esque. If anyone's been into the big Adidas shop in Manchester, it looks a bit like that. So I think it'll go down well with the fans rather than the Puma look that we've got today.
Yeah, fine. Lee Greasley is saying here the new kit looks a cheap knockoff of a Man U kit. That was exactly my reaction. Steve Knott is saying not nice, pukey. And here we are. Let's change the subject. Oh well, Phil Creed says white away kit for me. Yeah, I think white away kit, red third away kit. Keep it simple for me. Although I know a lot of fans forget that black is obviously one of the original colours for Leicester City, isn't it, James?
Yeah, I have seen some nice. I will say pink Adidas do.
Some pink ones.
Ajax have got an unbelievable black kit this year, which is made by Adidas, and I don't know why we've not gone down that route.
Fantastic. Jamie McQuillan is saying I'd spend 65 million on Zaha. Let's start with that one. I haven't heard that rumour. Have you? Or is that just
no, not.
Is that just Jamie saying I'd spend 65 million and let's get Zaha?
I think so. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he's worth 65 million, if I'm honest.
Is Riyad Mahrez worth 75 million?
Based on his last season, probably not. But he has got the ability to do. Well, we know what he's got the ability to do. So I think personally, I think the rumours 60 plus 50 million of add-ons. I think that's a great buy for. Well, it's great for us, and if Man City can get him for that, then more for them.
Are you very much in the he's going to go? Let's get this done nice and quickly and get it sorted.
Yeah, I think get it done before the World Cup, because we all know that after the World Cup, all the price will start to get inflated.
Yeah.
Which is right. Which is why we've done that great deal to get as to a supposed right back. Although I have seen him play right wing back. So Pereira, I think, is a right wing back with 3 centre backs, but I'm not sure how he's going to play it this year.
Now, James, you're going to put me right here. Are we calling him Pereira or we call him Ricardo? You see, I like Ricardo because I like the idea that he's Brazilian and he's amazing. But are you calling him Pereira? What's the official?
Well, I think he's got Pereira on his shirt when he played for Porto, so I'm not sure. I'm honest.
Okay.
Call him Ricardo if you want.
Well, we've got somebody clicked on the link, which is exactly what we want. We always want fans to come on. This is totally open. I put the link out there. If you want to come on and chat live, you absolutely can do. So James has already joined us. There he is. And I'm going to add in Anthony. So just give us 2 seconds. Here he comes. Clickety click. Anthony,
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. You?
Very, very good. Anthony, can you hear me and James all right?
Yeah, I can hear you both great.
Brilliant. Anthony, I don't know if you've seen what we've been talking about. We've just been talking about that new third away kit. Your quick reaction to that?
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, but I know the third kits are sort of meant to be a bit different, but I'm more of a fan of just the basic kits, if you know what I mean, like simple colours and keeping it simple.
Absolutely. And then we're just starting to talk about somebody's just put they'd buy Zaha for 65 million. I think somebody else has just said I'll have what they're smoking. Any thoughts on Zaha? He's never going to come, is he, to Leicester?
It seems a bit of a sideways move for him. I think if he's going to move to a top 6 club, not to Leicester, because even though we've been beaten twice by Palace this year, I feel like we're slightly above Palace in terms of levels, but not enough for him to warrant a move that will sort of enhance his career.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Zaha, James, is pretty Palace through and through, isn't he? He had his little soiree over at Man United, which didn't work out. I think it's gonna have to be a big club coming for him to make him move again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Man U, he didn't suit Man U's play, but he suits Palace down to the ground. I'm not sure any of the big 6 boys would come in for him. I think as good as he is, I think he needs to improve. And if he does improve, then maybe he could step up again. But it proved at Man United that he wasn't ready. He might have ready in a few years, but I don't think he's still not ready yet.
Anthony, Steve Knott says here, time to move on regarding Mahrez. Let's start with that, Anthony, with you. What's your thoughts on Mahrez?
I think he's been a class player for us since I had him, but I think it's time for him to go. He seems like his attitude's sort of gone, which can translate into the dressing room and it can start affecting everyone else, which I think in January, if that offer had come in slightly earlier, he would have been gone anyway. I think it's how late the offer was from Man City that meant we had to keep him because we had sort of no alternative to sort of bring in and stuff, because wasn't it on the last day of the window that they put their offers in for us. So I think it was more the timing that is why he didn't go, to be honest.
No Trub here saying, let's read out his comment. He says, need to sort out the Mahrez deal early, which is, I think, what you guys were both saying. Grealish, this brings us on to the next one. Jack Grealish. I happened to watch the playoff semi-final, and I was very impressed by Jack Grealish. He does show some petulance at times, but, you call that fighting spirit. Anyway, Notrub says, Grealish from Villa is a fantastic replacement. Him or Brighton and Gray behind Vardy would be awesome. Let's move on to Jack Grealish, guys. Let's start with you, Anthony, first. Thoughts on Jack Grealish?
Promising player, but not good enough yet to step up into someone's like Mahrez's shoes. I think we've got to buy someone with real pedigree to step into Mahrez's shoes. Someone I was even seeing earlier today. I was reading that Depay from France is sort of unsettled there. So someone like that. Yes, he didn't have the best time at Man United, but he's gone on and proved himself in France in a top league, and he's proved himself that he has got the ability there. I think someone more like that than someone who originally in his first go in the Premier League actually got relegated with Villa and didn't look too sort of special doing it.
James, what do you think about that Grealish?
I think he's got the potential to be a great player. I mean, he breezes past defenders in the Championship, but we all know with knockout, it's a different ball game coming up to the Premier League. He's also a liability from what I saw at the playoff final. He probably should have gone, but whether control him or not, it's a different story.
He certainly did have a heads gone moment, but I'll tell you what, he was for Villa. He was by far and away their standout player.
Yeah, totally agree.
Jamie Vardy next. We've talked a little bit about Mahrez, a little bit about Jack Grealish. Jamie Vardy's rumoured to be having a pay rise, 20 grand a week. Just that'd be nice. I don't know what to think about that. What, Anthony? Do we have to keep Vardy at all costs? And what would you do with 20 grand a week, or is that a silly question?
I think the fact that it would cost more to replace Vardy than it would giving him 20 grand a week, to be honest, because you can't just replace 20 goals a season easily. So I think it's a smart move, but I think we can't keep relying on him because obviously he is getting older. But the fact he hasn't played professional football his whole life could sort of prolong him for a little bit. But I think with Iheanacho, I think he was meant to sort of be the replacement for him as he gets a bit older. But I think that if that is going to be Iheanacho, he's really got to step up next season. But I think for this season, we have to keep him at all costs.
James, what do you think on Vardy? Keep at all costs?
Yeah, I think keep at all costs. I think him with signing the contract was the same rumours that went around when he was supposed to be going to Arsenal. He just wants to get the World Cup out of the way, which is right. He should be focusing on the World Cup because that's his next big tournament. After that, no doubt he'll put pen to paper, and unless his wife tells him otherwise, I'd say.
Oh, be careful what you say there, James. Steady on. As if Jamie Vardy's not running his own show. Yeah, so I think most Leicester fans, again, I'm going to guys, just bear with me. I'm going to flick through some comments here. Lee Greasley is saying Grealish is overrated. Jamie McQuillan is saying no to Jack Grealish. Steve Hilton is saying no to Jack Grealish. David Gavin says if Ryan's Hart is not with us, he needs to go, and Grealish maybe. Mark Gatwood is saying Gray's a petulant child. Well, yeah, we haven't even been talking about Demarai Gray, but I think a lot of Leicester fans would probably agree with you. Alison is saying I'm also a no vote to Grealish. I think Reece Taylor's saying yes to Grealish. I think there's more no's than yeses. And again, a question I would put out to both you two, and we'll come on to it, is I know myself and 100% LCFC's Jamie, who does his fantastic Sunday morning show, we both are championing bringing in some players with Premier League experience. There's still rumours of Johnny Evans coming in, guys. There's also this other guy we've been linked with, this Bassem, I can't even say his second name, Srafari, a 20-year-old from Tunisia. Have either of you two seen that rumour?
I've seen the rumour. I haven't looked into it too much because I think it would be one of those that sort of linked but never sort of you see much more again of sort of thing. But I don't know. I looked into it, but I didn't think too much of it.
And James, can you even say his name?
No, not at all.
Good.
That's what I left to you. I have seen a great rumour at the Barcelona centre back. He's a young kid. He's currently at Nice, where Puel's still got his coaching staff still there, so he knows about this lad. He looks like a decent buy. If you can get him for 18 million, then I'd go for it.
And what's his name?
I think his second name is Maron.
Maron. Okay. Not Marlon Harewood or whatever. No, obviously. No. Talking old things. Lots of Leicester fans want to get the deals done. I think if Mahrez was to go early, we'd certainly be looking for another guy. But the World Cup is almost upon us, isn't it, chaps? We've got, obviously on Saturday, brings us on to England against Nigeria. There's potentially 5 Leicester players, James, on Saturday. I don't think all 5 would play by any shout, including Ndidi, who I think will be injured.
Yeah, so I think did Nigeria play last night as well?
If they did, I didn't see it because it was Bank Holiday Monday.
I saw some Ian Acho put some photos on his Instagram. So I think they'll play at some point. I don't think any of the teams will be starting to put out the first team World Cup squads going forward. I think they'll look at the part-time players who he's got coming forward for all teams, including England as well. I think World Cup wise, Vardy will probably be on the bench. I don't think he'll be able to get in the team with Kane and Rashford and co there. But Maguire's got to start. I'm sorry, but if England have got any chance of winning that, Maguire has to start because they have to stop leaking goals.
Anthony, what would you say to that? Maguire has to start for England in the World Cup on Saturday?
I would say Maguire has to start a majority of the games. I don't think he starts every game, but I think he starts a majority of them. I think you need to have sort of rotation, but at the same time, we have to have a partnership that, well, sort of like players that have played with each other before, because you don't want to be going into the World Cup sort of against Belgium with like Hazard, Lukaku and all of that, with a partnership pairing but haven't played together before. So I think the experience has got to be there as well as sort of the best defenders, if you know what I mean. So
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's 10 Leicester players potentially featuring the World Cup. So, and even on Saturday, I believe Musa could be playing against England, James.
Yeah, since he's gone, he seems to have done really good for Moscow. His form's in there, so it's quite right that he plays. Whether he's any good, I'm not sure what the Russian league's like, but whether he's any good still, only time will tell. But we might see him on Saturday. You don't know.
And here's something I'm going to put out to people. A little bit of a strange thing, but, well, Andy King played for Wales in front of 82,000 fans, I believe, over in America last night. Played very well, as did young George Thomas. Got 26 minutes international time under his belt. Lads, what do we think about Andy King? He's clearly not going to go to Swansea.
James? I've got his poster right behind me.
Go on then, Anthony. Tell us, what are you a Kingy fan?
Well, I'm half Welsh, so I'm an absolute King fan. But I think as a Leicester fan, it's time for him to go. But the Welsh part of me doesn't want to see him go. So I'm sort of split on it. But purely from a Leicester point of view, I think he's not good enough anymore.
And James, what do you think to that?
I don't think he's Premiership quality. I think if we're pushing for the top six, then he's not that kind of quality. However, we've got to offer him some kind of coaching role, surely. His experience and the way he reads the game will be great for all the young academy kids coming on.
He's not old enough to have a coaching role, is he? How old is he?
29, isn't he?
Yeah. For me, I'd have him. I would say he's a very cost-effective guy to have around the whole squad for me. And I think it was a massive mistake letting him go. In hindsight, a big mistake because we were short in the midfield. I'll switch that round and see what people think. A lot of either come straight in and saying get rid. He's Championship at best. Nathan is saying Kante would never come back. He's too good. I never said Kante. I said Andy King. Nathan, come on. Well, actually, I know Angola Kante wouldn't come back. Somebody who might come back from Chelsea, though, chaps, would be Danny Drinkwater. And for me, welcome back, Danny, if he was to come. Anthony, you don't look so sure.
No, I'm not. I don't think he'll get in our midfield, to be honest, and we'd have to pay quite a bit for him. I think it's sort of time to move on from him, to be honest, because he's, 27, 28 now, and I feel like that there'll be, for the money we would have to spend to get him back, there'll sort of be better options out there.
You really, Anthony? I'm gonna challenge you on that. You don't mind, but I'm going to say I think Danny Drinkwater is a better player than Silva. I think Danny Drinkwater is a better player than Ibora.
Well, I think they're very different players, to be honest. I think Silva is more of a sort of a Puel player, like possession-based, good on the ball, sort of can find a pass and stuff. So if we're going to try and play Puel's way, I think we go all in and stuff, and not sort of looking back at the past, looking at players that have been very good for us. And the fact that Drinkwater has been very poor at Chelsea this year, his confidence could be completely shattered. He may well not be the same player that played for us before.
I think I've got to be fair, Anthony. I think what you've just said there is pretty brilliant, actually. You've changed my mind. James, what do you think?
For me, Drinkwater went for the money. He could have stayed, but he seemed to go for the money and seemed to think that being at Chelsea would give him the England route. However, he's out of favour at Chelsea. As Anthony said, he's going to have no confidence. He's not hardly played all year. He can't even get in the FA Cup squads now. I think if he came back, I think we might get him at a reduced price, but he would also have to take a big pay cut to come back because he did get quite a big pay rise going there. So I think it's difficult. But again, with my heart, yes, he was great when we won the league, but can you get him back to that ability? It'd be a long road. I don't think it'd be a quick transition to get him back to his best. So I think it would be a big gamble where for that kind of money, you could probably get a better player.
I do love it, by the way, James, you've said it, and I do love it when fans say that Drinkwater went to Chelsea for the money, and yet he actually stuck around to play the Champions League, whereas Kante, everybody seems to think, oh, well played, Kante. He did us one season, and then he went for exactly the same sort of money as Drinkwater, and everybody seems to think Drink is a money-grabbing so-and-so, and Kante, oh, well, thanks for the one season.
Yeah, I think it's because Drinkwater put the transfer request in, though, and sort of forced the move through more than Kante did. Kante sort of didn't push it through to the extent that Drinky did.
Yeah, go on, James.
I think Kante said from the start he was only here for one season. Kept to his word. There was a silly buyout clause for him, and then he went. So
Terry says here, don't forget we've still got Matty James. I'm going to just, my quick thoughts on Matty James, guys, is I think I'd rather keep Andy King than Matty James, if I'm honest, because I think Andy King is a solid 12-month-a-year guy, and Matty James, I think, for me, I'm done now with his injuries. Bless him, but you just can't have players that are that injury prone, Anthony.
Well, what I would say is he's not going to be one of our main midfielders anyway, and he's got to be someone, if he is going to be at the club, but you're going to be able to rely on when other players are injured, sort of as a sporadic player. And if he's injured half the time, then what's the point of having him? I think to further his career and Leicester, I think he should move on.
James, what do you think to that, James?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think James is, for some reason, he's injury prone. He did have a bad injury that he's probably never recovered from. And in the past, we've seen Darren Anderton was a great example.
Yeah,
got a big injury, never recovered from it, and he might be the same. I'm not sure where he could go because I'm not sure how bad his injury is. Could do well in the Championship, could do well in the Premier League. It's whoever's willing to make that challenge and get him fit and fully fit. Because I think last year, due to injuries, we put him back in and he wasn't fully fit and he got injured again.
I think I'm going to read a few comments out before we start to get towards. Mark Gatwood says Kante is a silent assassin, never said anything. No, he didn't. His transfer was done very early. Jason Mills says Kante had a release clause, which again I think it's fair enough, isn't it? I think it's fair enough if you're a player and you want to go on to a big club. Not Trub says, don't think Drinkwater went for the money. We had a poor season before he went, which we actually did in the league because we were scraping around relegation at one point. Chelsea wanted him, No Trub goes on to say, and who wouldn't go, especially to team up again with Kante? I think that's quite good. Ben is saying, Jason, would you have Ross Barkley in that number 10 role? Yeah, Ross Barkley's a funny one going to Chelsea. I'm surprised they made that. Thomas saying we can't sell everyone because we won't have enough players. Just look at what happened at the end of this season when we only had 2 midfielders. Damon says, can I ask James what his thoughts are on Ben Chilwell? James, what are your thoughts on Ben Chilwell?
David Hockett knows what my thoughts are on Ben Chilwell.
Is he winding you up here? Come on then.
Yeah. I think he's got the potential to do well. He is quite young and he does make quite a lot of mistakes. I'm not sure he's better than Fuchs, if I'm honest. He's solid, he's great at the back, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Ben Chilwell's up for it yet. I know a few of my friends have got the same view on he's not quite ready, but will be there. But at the minute, I don't think so.
And what do you think on Ben Chilwell, Anthony?
I think he's a brilliant player, but he's not quite at the stage of that we want to be at yet. Because obviously we're trying to push forward as a club, and obviously we want to give youth a chance, and we don't want to sort of isolate it. But I feel he could do with the guidance of Fuchs for another year, which he's going to have sort of with Fuchs obviously staying around for another year. But even after Fuchs gone, I think we could bring in someone else just to sort of guide him for another year or so. Even someone like Ryan Bertrand, obviously captain of Southampton, but played under Puel before. And I think we would have the money if we wanted to bring in someone like Ryan Bertrand and stuff. I think he would be sort of able to guide Chilwell to be that player that we know he can be and what he's capable of being.
Excellent. Anthony, while we've got you on, Anthony, I know you're trying to do stuff on YouTube, and I'm trying to get you to do more and more stuff on 100% LCFC, so thanks for coming on tonight. Do you want to give your YouTube channel and your Twitter a plug, please?
Yeah, my YouTube is Boyer Nation, so I upload sort of transfer rumours, match reviews, match previews, match day vlogs on there, and then my Twitter is The Boyer Nation, so which I just sort of tweet about all things Leicester, really, and sometimes about rugby and just anything I'm sort of interested in.
Fantastic. But I'm hoping I can persuade you to come into the 100% team on a regular basis. So it's been great having you on tonight, Anthony.
All right, thank you for having me, mate.
All right, see you soon. I'm going to drop you out now. So thanks again. We'll see you next week. And James, final thoughts? It's that lull, isn't it? I don't think there's going to be many signings. There might be a few rumours. I'm a bit worried that Mahrez might go very quickly. And you think, suddenly does that alert lots of clubs that we've got 75 million burning a hole in our pocket?
Yeah, I'm not sure what his plan is to replace him, if I'm honest. I mean, I've seen Ben Arthur drafted around. Ben Arthur's a great player, and Puel's used him before. But I think there's better out there.
Yeah, Ben Arthur doesn't do it for me.
And how much do you spend, Phil? Do you spend the whole lot and get a class player because it's going to leave a big hole, or do you try and build your squad a bit more?
Can I say, in all honesty, I know some people might think I'm not negative about these things. I'm just trying to be honest. I think if Leicester were to spend £75 million on a player, I wonder what sort of player you would get for that. Because I think anybody who's truly worth 75 million would be looking at that top four sort of club at the moment. So I'm worried that if we went out and spent big money, I'm reminded of 30 million for Slimani.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think 75 million, if we bought a player for 75 million, would we have to break the wage structure?
Yeah.
Would be my question as well.
People still talking about Rafa. I think that's just game over, isn't it? James, we're talking on Friday when we met up that we think Puel's here to stay and people just need to back him now.
Yeah, I think if he was going to get sacked, he'd have gone now when all the rest of them went. So I think they're going to give him the summer, start again, and just start afresh. I mean, last season's out of the way. As I said to you before, Phil, it seems once we got the 40 points, he started to tinker.
Yeah, I think
started to mess around with the side a bit for next season. So I think he's here to stay, and we'll just see how we get on next season. And as usual, we'll all be backing him day one.
I've just left on screen, Imtiaz has said we don't buy £75 million players, we make them. I think that's quite a good comment, isn't it, James?
Yeah, we do. Our coaches are great, as we know, and they work well with the team. I've not seen a player since we probably bought Mahrez, we bought Vardy on, but who's coming through? I think Chowdy's a great player. As we've seen, he's been called up for the under-21s, I think. So he's right, we do create the players, but I think we also need to probably buy a few as well.
And obviously there was quite a few rumours. We didn't ask Anthony about it, but Demarai Gray, again, that rumour was bounding around going to Bournemouth, 25 million, James. We ran a poll. It was pretty 50-50. I think whether fans wanted to keep him or take the money. Just slightly more players said keep him and try and develop him. What would you say to Demarai Gray?
I think you can develop a player if he's got the right attitude, and currently I don't think he has. He's got the chance to be a world beater, but I think his attitude at the minute is that he's on his own and he needs to be more of a team player for me.
So you would sell Gray?
Yes. Right,
okay. Fair enough. 25 million, you'd say take it. Bought him for 3.5 million, I think, from Birmingham 2.5 years ago. You'd take the money. But you'd take the money, and we're going to sell Riyad Mahrez. We've just lost two of the most exciting flair players. You just think Diabate maybe is going to drop into that gap?
Diabate has been, well, we've seen what he's like. He's got a great attitude. He just comes on a sub, puts his head down, does a job, and does an amazing job. And he just drifts past players as well. And he's only a young lad and got a great future ahead of him, I think.
Damon, yeah, I'm saying that right, I think, says I'll drive Gray to Bournemouth for 25 million. I think a lot of Leicester fans have maybe lost a bit of patience with Gray. Thomas, though, is on the other side of the fence saying I'd keep Gray and build him up. He's an enigma, isn't he, Demarai Gray? He really is. He's one of those where you think, Which one are we going to see? And I've got to be fair, I think he's also one of these players. He's a bit of a 1 in 6 player. He plays a great game, just enough to make you want to play him, but then takes 4 or 5 games before you see it again.
Yeah, I think you're right, Phil. And some games you just see him drift past players and you think he's world class. And in other games, he just puts his head down, he runs into the corner, he doesn't look up who's around him. Yeah, I think it's based on the day of what kind of grey you get.
Yeah. Right, James, thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to drop you out and I'll just read through a few last comments. So it's been brilliant having you on.
No problems, thanks.
We'll see you soon. So let me just finish off here. I'm going to read through a lot of your comments. Sorry, I've been trying to get so many on there. Malcolm is watching. Hi, Malcolm. How are you? No Trub says, do we honestly think that Chowdhury is good enough? That he just doesn't see it. Mark, I agree with you, Mark, where you say we need another 4 or 5 players. Terry's saying 75 million buys the whole of Division 1. Do you mean the League One or do you mean the Championship, Terry? You're still living in 1987. Talking of which, I finally watched that Damn United last night late on, and that was very good. I don't know if any of you have seen that. I'm changing subject there. Stephanie says, I won't back Puel. Awful manager, has absolutely no clue. Absolutely fair enough, Stephanie. I'm still on the fence with Puel, but I am like, he is going to stay, and the owners I trust. And I think you've got to give a manager. I think like in any job, in any role you go into, imagine, you've started a new job and 6 months down the line, you've effectively done exactly what your bosses have brought you in, whether you're flipping burgers in McDonald's or, fixing cars in a mechanics or serving beer behind a pub. If you're doing what they've asked you to do, which is what he did. He kept us up and he got us to the top half of the table. Got us to 2 quarterfinals of the cup. I'm frustrated as most people that we didn't get to semi-finals and finals of the cup. But I've got to say, in hindsight, he probably has just about enough done. We go! We go! I'm going to have to stop doing this because nobody knows what I'm doing. We go. Gary Wigston is watching from Costa Coffee or McDonald's in Thurmston. Hi, Wigo. How are you? Captain. Jamie's saying give George Thomas a chance. Fair enough. He got 26 minutes last night in Wales in front of 82,000 fans against, I need to check my notes. Who did they play? Mexico, 0-0. What a thriller. In Pennsylvania, I think it was. Jake Short saying Nathan Redmond and Maya Yoshida from the Saints. Good shout outs. Steve Hilton, I think, is summing up what a lot of people think about Demarai Gray when Steve says Gray thinks he's better than he is. Certainly not a 90-minute player, at best a 45-minute player. Mark also says Gray's a massive letdown. Diabate has taken his chance. I think he has. Diabate is higher up the pecking orders. Anyway, FANZONE, it was Tuesday night. It was 9:30. Please, 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 can you like, share, retweet, give us a love heart wherever you're watching on Periscope, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's been absolutely brilliant having James on. Appreciate James Harlow coming on. He is one of the regular 100% LCFC content guys. Anthony, follow Anthony at Boy Nation on Twitter and YouTube, although I want him to become part of our crew here and doing lots of videos for us because he does some good stuff and I want him to come in and join us. So go follow him. But badger him to come and join 100% and be one of the video guys for us for next season. We've got lots and lots of things brewing for you for next season. We've got loads of gossip coming on. I know some of the guys, myself included, are doing things on another Facebook channel and Twitter channel called 100% England. So we're talking World Cup stuff. It might last like it has done before for about 6 minutes when England let us down as ever. David saying, thanks, Phil. You're no problems. Thank you for watching. Imtiaz, how are you? Come on, Leicester. Good shout. Lee Greasley giving us a thumbs up. Lots of thumbs up, lots of likes, lots of retweets. That's exactly what I like. Lots and lots of viewers tonight. I'm going to go now. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to go and watch Britain's Got Talent results. I know. How sad is that? That's the women in our house forcing me to watch Britain's Got Talent. So, enough football. Let's go and watch some rubbish. I don't know. See you later. Thanks for watching 100% LCFC. My name's Phil, and I'll see you all soon.